Sometimes life is really funny. It gives you exactly what you don't think you need at the time you actually need it. Let me tell you how this video came to be and explain what my plans were for today and how actually the disappointments of my day totally set the stage for me to talk about what I actually wanted to talk about. So I got up this morning. Well, actually, let me go back. Yesterday, I went to bed thinking I had this great plan for my day. Sorry, my glasses are weird. I was gonna get up about 9. I was going to make some really specific custom orders. I was going to deliver them to the city of Brazil. I was going to go out to my property. I was going to start a fire. I was going to do a fire ASMR because I've done those before. A, I like them. I like fire. And B, you all seem to like them. They're fabulous. So I was going to do that. And then this morning, I couldn't get to sleep right last night. This morning I woke up late. It was 11:30 when I woke up. I mean, keep in mind, I fell asleep somewhere around like 3 and I woke up again at 4:40 and was up a while. And then I was up again at like 6:30-ish when my husband got home. And then, yeah, so like, you know, it's not like I got a lot of sleep. Like, I still am not adequately slept. But I digress. Anyway, so I have to be leaving the property at 3. So that did not leave time to go to Brazil. That did not leave time to make my custom orders. And then as I got out here, I discovered it was soaked. Everything is soaked. Let me show you what I mean. Here's my fire pit. The ashes are wet. The boards that had started to be burned are wet. All of the wooden things that I planned to burn are wet. All of the dried little stems of pokeweed and different things that I used to start my fire are wet. The air is wet. The sky looks like it might burst into rain at any moment. The wood that's sitting around the fire, wet. The branches that we could burn to help keep the fire going, wet. When I saw the state of the weather today, as I got out here and things became more and more wet. I mean, it was drizzly when I left my house, but here it's definitely rained longer and everything is like soaked through. It was exactly how I was feeling about my day. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do a vlog, because it's Vlogmas. Maybe I'll do a vlog about seasonal affective disorder. I know that Pescatarian Gardener has done a live about that. And I'll try to put the link in the description. But I'm definitely going through that. And I thought, okay, you know, that might be something that I can, you know, talk about as kind of how we got here and what I'm going to do with this level of seasonal depression. But then I realized that this weather is exactly what seasonal affective disorder feels like. There are a million things in my life that I want to do. But seasonal affective disorder is like this water. Everything that I need to do is so much harder. So we're going to talk about that while I try to get a fire lit in spite of this situation. So I'm going to go forage for some supplies. I will be right back. I have returned with supplies. So the first thing I need is a shovel and something to put all this nasty wet ash from the fire pit in. Now, in my life, what is like that is my lovely underlying needs. So, let's see if I can find something to keep that propped up. How about a nice brick? Oh, nope. There we go. I don't know if that gives you a exemplary view. Let me take you down a little. There. Still not quite there. So for me, this is underlying things that add to my overwhelm. So while I was gathering supplies, I went out to my car and I changed my socks. Why? Because they were bunching up and I was uncomfortable. Ow, shit! Ow. I'm sure there's a metaphor for when you cut yourself on the rock and bleed in your video. I don't know what it is. But I'm a woman on a mission. So the ash at the top of this is very, very, very wet. It's got all the most recent rains. It's keeping everything from getting good air. And it's not even the good kind of ash that you can use in your garden, because God only knows what they burnt in this pit before we got here. So at least we got a little of that out. So we're not starting with moisture. So now I got a bunch of little supplies from various places. So from the floor of my trailer, we have crumbling floorboard. We have this cool half wet, half dry board that I think will actually, this end will go up really fast. That was under my front porch. This weird papery thing, I don't know what the hell it is. It was under the front porch. I figured, why not? What else? So in the house that we purchased with this property and are not touching yet, I found a piece of notebook paper, a packaging for a Bic bright liner, a random little tiny rectangle of wood, and then in my car I found a piece of paper I no longer need because it's for an issue we already fixed, one Taco Bell wrapper, another paper about the issue we already fixed, and a Taco Bell wrapper. So from this, we're gonna start our basic fire. And yes, I'm still bleeding, sorry. I will clean it up at some point, but unfortunately I think we took the water all home. So I guess I'm cleaning it with Diet Mountain Dew. Great. So anyway, we're gonna start with paper at the bottom. Now note that this would have taken like 5 minutes on a normal day, and it's taking me like 25 today. Because I have to find extra paper, and I have to keep the fire going longer before it will really catch. So we've got all these wadded up in the middle with dry-ish ash underneath. And then somewhere I laid some kindling. Where did I put you? Oh, here it is. So these were under my porch. I would have gotten more from under there, but I found a stray cat. So we're gonna put this around the paper. So in my little metaphor, I suppose that those would be things like encouragement from friends, inner motivation, deadlines. For me, deadlines are always really powerful. Then I'm gonna put our little random scrap of wood. I'm gonna take, maybe I'll take this apart. I have no idea. At this end it's coming apart, but it's wet. At the other end it's together and dry, so I don't know. I'll just put it over the top somehow, see what happens. Then we're gonna put the dry end of this over here in a way that keeps it from drowning out the oxygen. Oh, you don't have a very good view. Sorry about that. Here, well, now that my butt's out of the way, it's better. I did also find one stick. Again, one end is wetter, one end is drier. So we're gonna put that on top. And then over the top of that, whew, I don't know if any of these are less dry. I guess maybe the cabinet doors, but the cabinet doors don't really do very well. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna put this piece of wood like that. That way it gets some heat, and hopefully eventually that'll dry it out a little bit, make it easier to catch. I have a couple of super soaked pieces of wood that I'm gonna put in here. Hopefully once they dry, they will be good and keep it going. Could have sworn I grabbed another stick, but hell if I know where that is. And now we're gonna start the fire. So here's our little, oh, seriously? Okay, there we go. It is now going. We're gonna start a couple of the pieces of paper. Now, yes, I know you should not stand over the fire when you're starting it, but look, listen, Linda, this is clearly not an ideal day for this. I'm gonna put a little more fire. Oh, come on, you. So, yet again I'm sure there's a part of the metaphor for this. So, the moral of this story is life with seasonal depression is very much like this. Let me sit down and explain, or maybe I'll just kneel and explain while you watch the fire start. So, basically, seasonal depression is this atmosphere of wet heaviness that makes everything harder in your life to do. Makes it harder to get motivated. Everything that you try to do is harder. It takes longer. It takes a deeper personal investment. It may work or it may not. I mean, it could rain. It could start raining right now. And then this fire will be totally gone. And you just don't know. And that, I feel like, is what life is like for me right now. So now that this is kind of crackling, I'm going to put one more board on our little triangle of doom so it can start drying out. And then we just get to leave it and watch it crackle. So let me raise you up so I can tell you how I got to this point in my life that I'm recording about seasonal depression. Nope, not that one. One moment as I adjust you. Okay, you didn't need to be that high. Maybe here. Yeah. And I'll back up a little so you can still hopefully see the fire go as I tell you my tale. So how did I get to this particular point where my seasonal depression is bad enough it deserves a video? Well, I haven't released week 4's video. And the reason I haven't released week 4's video is basically, we had a deadline to get things out while we still had a dumpster. And so we worked until we could not work anymore, which would have been fine, except, believe the day after the dumpster? No, a couple days after the dumpster, because I think they got it on Tuesday, I had my last show of the year, which required me to be doing a lot of things. And that became very difficult because, you know, you're working this much at the property. We exhausted all of our stores of pre-prepared food, because usually I have some in the freezer for emergencies. That was done. We were not at home long enough to do any cleaning. We would either stop at a fast food place on the way home and then eat and fall asleep, or we would make something quick, but then like I didn't have motivation to do dishes after that. So the house got behind. And because I was out here working, trying to get all that done, I was behind on stuff for my businesses, my business, my show, my locations. So, you know, and then the cars got trashed from hauling all the stuff. So the cars are dirty. Well, one car's dirty. The other car, we didn't use that much. We still have things to do in the trailer. Stuff that's annoying and tedious. Some of it I can do. Well, most of it I can do. There's some that I don't think I can do because it's like ripping up flooring, which is very difficult and complicated. I mean, some of the flooring, not so much. You saw it, it was literally crumbling. I didn't use a tool. I just picked it off of the floor in its complete state of disintegration. But, yeah, but the rest, that takes more than I have. I'm behind on all my friendships. I have been promising a friend that I would return something to her for like a month. I owe custom orders to 3 friends. I haven't brought my niece and nephew out here for a while because I just don't have the bandwidth to ask and bring them out here. Basically all of my life. Oh, and Christmas. I have not Christmas shopped. Do I have anything? I don't think I have anything bought, and it's the 15th, so 10 days. I have nothing. So my life is feeling very much like this current situation. I didn't want to get up this morning. I didn't want to move. I drank some caffeine. I freaked out because I planned to make the custom orders this morning, but one of them required rosemary to be infused into olive oil. Fine, I have rosemary. It's already dried and ready. I have olive oil. It's fine and ready. I have a crock pot, but the crock pot, I put water around it. And did I have distilled water? No. And regular tap water does horrible things to the crock pot. So I was like, crap. So I couldn't do that. And then, like I said, I didn't have time to drive to Brazil to deliver them. Anyway, like everything that I want to do in my life requires so many extra steps because I'm overwhelmed and I'm behind on everything. So, like, trying to find a good example. Also, I'm watching the fire die. So there's that. I maybe should get something to help that go. I don't know. Let me check. It may live. It may die. If it dies, I'll grab more paper. But yeah, everything in life at this point is taking more time because, like, the office got disorganized. So when I go to make a tin of a cream, where's the label? Do I print off and make a new label? Do I try to find the old labels? Which room did I leave the labels in? Did I leave them on in the living room where I normally do my labeling? Did I leave it in the office where I print off the labels? If I go to, I don't know, but it's all like that. So that is what inspired this video. And I'm curious what you have found as your like pro tips to get through seasonal depression and overwhelm. For me with fire, I make my little teepee of fire. And I try to make sure there's lots of easy to burn things like kindling and paper under there. And on days like today where everything's kind of wet, I have to keep adding paper, which is annoying and frustrating. In my real life, what I'm trying to do is get up in the morning, I make a list of 5 things, very easy things. So if a task is like catch up on laundry, because like all the laundry is dirty, I think James has one clean pair of pants. I wouldn't write like do all the laundry on the list. I would do gather dirty laundry. Something simple that doesn't feel so overwhelming and that no other stuff should interfere with. And all 5 of them are like that. Some of them are like computer tasks, like researching an herb in one of the 2 library books that are horrifically overdue to the library so I can take them back. Or, you know, edit a video, et cetera, et cetera. Stuff that's kind of easy, but it gets me moving. Because once I'm moving, they say that, like, you know, the body in motion stays in motion. Like, once I am moving, I can stay moving. And then slowly but surely, like, celebrating each little success helps me to keep motivated and keep moving. Some days I can't start the list. Sometimes I lay the notebook down somewhere and I just can't. And I think that if you're a person with seasonal affective disorder, you kind of just have to roll with it. You know, some days be like that. And that's, you know, do your best, try to get something done, have grace. So anyway, I don't know, this is a weird video, but here it is. And I will see you all later. Eat something wild, but probably not cooked in a fire that was made with all kinds of weird odds and ends from decomposing houses. Just saying, might not be good for your health.